G'day, my name's Chris Newton. I'm one of the proud owners of the EA Group. I'm rapt to be on this show and supporting sport, supporting local sport. We're very proud sponsors of a range of footy teams, soccer teams, AFL teams around the country, particularly regionally where they need most of our help. Give our team at EA Group a call. We've got all your TSAP, crushers, screeners, trommels, and as you can see, everything else that you need to be able to load these wonderful machines. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be on the show and to support your success.
Have you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team? It's more than a game. The footy's in our veins. It's time to go. It's the Northern Footy Show. Get out of our way. We wanna see them play.
Welcome, guys, to the Northern Footy Show. It has been another monster week in football as usual. I'm joined by my horrible co-host, Matthew Bonadeo, who just off camera has been giving me grief. Bonners, welcome to another week of the Footy Show, mate.
I can wait till we get on camera to give you grief if you want, mate. I'm happy to do it either way.
It's been a huge week. We had a huge Monday night, which you're going to speak about later. We sat with 5 legends and myself, but we'll get into that. But before we do that, we have 2 very amazing special guests that have joined us tonight from Greensborough with Robert and Matthew Hyde. Thanks for coming in. You're our first father-son guests on the show. This is great. Let me just go through your bio. For Robert, you're going to have to give us 15 minutes because it's that long.
Matthew's is quick, so good.
So Rob played 63 games with Collingwood and Essendon, best and fairest for Collingwood. Played in both the drawn and the replay grand finals. Not going to ask who won. Coach Greensborough to premierships in 83-84. Calder Cannons coach for 10 years. Under-18s country championship team in 2007, a stint with the Northern Blues as a senior coach, a former principal at Epping Primary, probably why it's in trouble, and the Calder Cannons medal is named after Robert Hyde. Rob, do you think you've really achieved enough, or was there a bit more to give there, mate? Thanks for coming on.
No worries.
That's a pretty good wrap-up. I think that's the best wrap-up we've done this year.
Not bad, actually. Yeah,
we'll just make Matt feel like rubbish. Matt, 3 consecutive Division 1 Team of the Years, Greensborough Best and Fairest 2013, NFNL Team of the Decade, Bundoora Premiership Player 2011, more importantly 99 games at Bundy and a premiership there, back as senior coach at Greensborough, continuing the family legacy. Matt, thanks for joining us as well.
Yeah, you left off my under-8s coach at Doodle Stars.
Let me make a note.
Continuing coach. So, yeah.
So is there anybody that's just not a superstar in this Hyde family? Have a look at the results here. Like we spoke a couple of weeks ago about, was it the Harveys?
Yeah.
Maybe getting some DNA put away. But you guys are clearly fantastic. Thanks for coming on the show. Matt, we'll start with you. You're having a great season there. It's such a tight season where anyone, any week can get in. Now, before everyone jumps on and starts sending in your comments, I know I said Greensborough was shit a couple of weeks ago, but the boys are here today, so I'm now a Greensborough fan. But it's been up and down, hasn't it, Matt? It's been hard hard to pick this year. Every game is a possibility of a win and a loss, and it really is.
Yeah, no, look, it is. And I think that's what's making the competition sort of strong and interesting to watch and be a part of, like to go in week out. Obviously, Heidelberg's the testing material.
Yeah.
But that at the moment to have, second to sixth on equal points at this stage of the year, I think paves the way for a really great end to the season. And for us as a club, it's been a bit up and down, but we've played plus sort of 40 different players. We've got a heap of really great kids between the ages of sort of 25 and 17. And 219 sides. And I think for Greensborough, it's nice to come back and just think really carefully around how you culture those kids as they come through to create something special.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick question, mate. Who's your goal kicking coach?
Please
don't tell me it's Rob.
It is. He's the former coach.
There's two big sticks and then there's two little sticks. And the boys have done an amazing job. But if you kind of get through the big sticks a little bit more, I reckon there could have been a bit different results.
It could. And I think we've gotten better over the last couple of weeks, which has been good. I think Andrew Stellis will tell you it's him because we put him down there and he kicks straight. But I mean, that is the last couple of weeks we've finally got ourselves into the more goals than points category. But you're right, and we talk about it a lot at training, and we've been working on it at different points through our sessions. But I think we got through 10 rounds and we're averaging 16 points a game.
Yeah, you've had a few injuries as well through the season, which all sides have injuries, I get that. But to get someone like Ben Fisher back, he's such an important player. When he's on that field, he's having a pretty good year.
Yeah, the kid's a bull, right? And he's another one. He's only 20, 21. And I think he's just got so much upside as he comes through. He got himself injured last year and missed most of it, but played as a defender. And he's moved into the midfield this year and just been a super asset in there. But we have lost a couple. Young kid, Deacon Lawler.
Yep.
We had a look at the Premier data stats the other day, and he's still coming third for intercept marks.
Wow.
And hasn't played a game since about round 6.
Wow.
So I think to have that, we lost another couple of kids in terms of Willow Dwyer, but we've counted them a couple of times. There's times this year that we've gone out and played with 7 or 8 under 19s on the park, between Brody Glenn and Willow Dwyer and Will McFawn, and then Deacon Lawler, who's only just out of there, but Christian Ferranato. So
what a star.
Yeah, we're lucky to have the kids that we do.
Yeah.
And for you, Rob, back there again after coaching for a couple of premierships, can you help this boy get him across the line in the next few years, or do you want to just keep your 2-0 difference between the two of you?
No, look, I think, Matt, when he was appointed, we knew that it's going to be not a long haul, but it's going to take some education.
Yeah.
And as we said about the age, and when I looked at when they appointed him, like last year, the balance was we were 8th in defence.
Yeah.
Fourth in defence and 8th in offence. Yeah. This year we're balanced up. We're 3rd in offence for points for, and we're 4th. So, but we're still missing games. Like we've played in patches, and that's a thing we've got to learn to do better. It's probably a little bit about youth.
Yep.
But there are games where we've thrown leads away, and some people are going, well, you shouldn't have done it. We probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But it's about experience, and even though we're playing Eltham on the weekend, they came back and we just showed a little bit more grit and composure. And if we continue to do that, then I think we'll just develop and maybe have a chance of playing finals.
Yeah. One of the questions I was going to ask has already come in, so here they come, boys. Brace yourselves. Generally, they're pretty good, but Aaron Cusack has asked Cusack. It's Cusack today. My show. I pronounce it.
This is why we never get him to pronounce names. We had Robbie Marinara the other.
No, he is Marinara. I told him the other night too. Who's the actual contender against Heidelberg? And 2 part from him again. Heidelberg are 8-goal better side at the moment, but they haven't won it yet. You would have to, but you've seen a lot of footy over the years. Everyone's beatable on the day. It's never over till it's in your hand. How do you get close to them? Everyone's crackable, but how do you get close to them?
Look, I look at Essendon District with Keeler, and it'd be a great match to see which one of these would beat each other. I think we were talking off air before. It's not a detrimental comment to the competition, but I think that Heidelberg have maintained their sort of evenness, and I think a few of the other sides are sort of developing and not struggling is an incorrect term, but haven't sort of reached the same level they were last year. And we were talking about Bundoora.
Yeah.
Bundoora gone from premiers to, working on their backside off to try and avoid relegation.
Yep.
So I think it's even out in terms of that, but Heidelberg have maintained that standard. Not that I think they've actually improved a great deal from 2023, but they maintained a really even squad.
That's a fact.
And a deep squad. And they will be hard to beat.
A lot of players did leave. A lot of good talent left the league this season and went elsewhere, and that's evident. And at the end of the day, you can only play against what's put in front of you as well, But they are going to be a hard side to beat, but everyone is beatable on their day.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but one thing that we've found this year, and something that still baffles me, is the amount of people going overseas halfway through the year. I know yourselves, we've got Banyule, I know speaking to Harrow, there's about 3 or 4 other teams, and I know, Sammy Gilmore missed a few games as well. So I can't remember. I'm going to say back in my day, because a mate of mine seems to keep a tally of how many times I say it. So he reckons I'm up to 700. So there's 701. So back then, I can't remember having that much time off in a footy season. But the last few years, it just seems like around this time, people miss 4, 5, 6 games going overseas. Does it feel strange if you got guys like that? Do you kind of work around it? How do you go about it, I suppose, is the question I ask.
No, look, we're pretty lucky. We haven't had anyone head overseas in terms of that way. What we have done is that we've got some incredible kids, the Greensborough kids that play VFL at the moment.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's the juggle for us at the moment. With and just they're awesome, and you never want to lose them because they're such incredible young people and young footballers, and to watch them grow and develop as they sort of complete their journey at VFL and hopefully come back to Greensborough just makes us a super side. But at this sort of part in the middle, having some blokes in some weeks and out the next, and trying to get some consistency in your midfield rotations or your structures, and blokes being at VFL training and then coming back, like that's tricky. Yeah. And like we work really hard to support them because you want them to be playing the best level of football possible. Yep. But hopefully at some stage when they get a bit older and they come back, I think it will make Greensborough a force to be reckoned with. I think you talk about Heidelberg, and what I loved that time that we played them was that we came out with ferocity and we put a fair bit of pressure on them in the first half, and they sort of feel pressure the same way anybody else does.
Correct. If I could ask, or maybe make a bit of a statement, your opinion is you get to the end of the season and a lot of these VFL players, and we had Deacon and Josh Dintasante in here a couple of weeks ago, they will go straight from Coburg. They're both qualified at South Morang, so they will slot into their finals side straight away. 2 very good players to come straight back in. How many will you get back at finals time?
I had a look at it the other day. We're about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And the hard part was there's a couple that won't qualify because they haven't played enough games. But in the likes of Tom Brindley, Angus Severs, like we'll get like Harry Andronico, who we see a little bit of now, like Zach Hart. Christian Ferranado's aligned with Carlton.
Angus Severs.
Yeah, Willow Dwyer was aligned with Preston Bullants. Like Joel Trudgeon's another one who's at Coburg. So I can keep rattling them off, right? Yeah. And like the hard part is you walk in a different side when you put all of them in there.
Are they your juniors? Are they 1-pointers?
Fewer, mix.
Yep.
Gus and Tommy Brindley, 100%.
But you must sit there though and think like of how seeing these kids develop, and we've talked about the pathways for many, many years. Of now the pathways is such a great way for these young kids who get local footy, become exposed to the VFL footy, give them the option to go further, come back to the local leagues, which makes the local leagues, as you said, you'll get a stronger side when these guys come back. Must be a pretty, a pretty good feeling knowing that these kids that we develop over time are starting to see benefits for their efforts.
Yeah, 100%. And it's this double sort of negative, right? This double jeopardy where like you're so happy for them to go up and play really well because you see such potential, but at the same time it throws the rest of your structures out. Yeah. So it's you feel happy and sad at the same time.
You have an obligation as a coach to do that, though, don't you? And I can tell when I met you for the first time tonight, I can tell you want the best for your players, but inside it burns to let the buggers go.
Well, especially when you're sort of losing games just.
Yes.
It'd be, if you're thumping sides like Heidelberg are sometimes and you've got blokes coming in and out, it's different.
Yeah.
But when you're losing games or you're not kicking straight enough to get yourself across the line, and that little bit of extra sort of pizzazz might get you there, put you in a different spot.
These last couple of weeks are going to be important because those last couple of remaining spots, they're all so open still. Like for me, 3rd v 5th, or probably even 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, it's all still very open.
Well, someone's going to miss. One of the teams has to miss out. Yeah. So you've got your Heidelberg that are there, but you've got your Banyule, Hurstbridge, North Heidelberg, Greensborough, and Montmorency. They've got to fit into 4 spots. So someone's going to be unlucky. Yeah. But these are the things, this is what makes the competition. I mean, you wouldn't want to see, the 5's already done now. It doesn't really mean a lot. It's just where you finish up. So to have this at the end of the season, every game really, such as important. I know we've kind of, after that, it drops away a fair bit. Yeah. But, I mean, someone is still going to miss out. So it does make it amazing for the end of the year.
Now, Rob, how are you finding? I heard you say earlier you're a backman and you're now a forward line coach. Now, has your son done this to punish you because you maybe didn't give him enough chance up forward as a junior? What's happened here?
Oh, I don't know, Darren. I remember I coached him when we won the 2014 premiership, and I remember I got him to come across from. I went back in 2013 after 40 years or whatever it was, and I said, "Look, I need you out. We weren't all that good." So he came across from Bundoora, and that year they won the premiership. So that was the first blow to him on the other one. So he thought, "What am I doing here?" But the following year, I got the trouble off his mum because she said I was too hard on him. And, so I had to sort of backtrack there. But he put me there, and it's good to watch him develop. I try and bite my tongue,
How's he go with that, Matt?
I tend to walk along the boundary about 40 I try, but he gives me leeway, so that's all right. So,
that is amazing.
I must say, though, like, for those who don't know, Matty was actually my grade prep friend. And talk about
is that what's wrong with you, Matt?
Yeah. The funniest part was if I had to walk out at because I played football with Dave Mackay's cousin, and people know Clint, ex-Australian fast bowler. But I used to come out every play time, and all I'd have to do was go to timeout, and here's Matty sitting on the side. I remember one day I came out and I said, "Oh, what are you in there for today?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm not meant to be here. I just thought they're going to put me here anyway. So I'm going to sit here anyway." So
he doesn't look like a naughty boy.
Yeah, it was just little things. But, I've known the family. I know Rob was coaching when I was at the Knights at the same time. So you kind of see, I'm not the oldest man on earth, but you see people like Matty, and I remember playing, seeing Matty play footy and coming through. You get that little bit of, you're almost the big brother type thing. So to see him coaching now, and I watched him on the weekend, he got a bit cagey halfway through the game. He's a very happy man, as we spoke to the boys. But, as Rob's saying, you just let him develop. But you love seeing guys you play footy with becoming coaches and then passing their knowledge on, and then, in 25 years, your son will, start coaching, and then the name will continue. So to see both of them coaching Greensborough, I think it's fantastic. And have that name synonymous with it, I actually find one of the best things about local footy. So
I'll tell you how popular Robert is. I actually supplied some goods a while ago to a guy's house in Essendon. He goes, "Do you know Robert Hyde?" So I actually don't know him, but I know him. He goes, "Let me tell you some stories about him. He was one hard bugger of a coach." and I don't remember the fella's name, but he knows you pretty well. Apparently you catch up with him pretty well. You'll know him. He's out in Coburg, Brunswick. But lovely guy. All right, there's a few questions here, and they're all coming from one person. We'd love to see Heidelberg v. Keilor. Great suggestion. Rob would like to see premiers in other
I'd like to
countries.
see that at the end of the year too.
I
reckon that I'd love to see the competitions. Just each year, you just swap who you play. Have a round robin over the weekend. Have 3 or 4 different competitions play each other, and then I reckon it'd be fantastic at the end.
Well, Aaron says that Banyul misses, and great to see some great young coaches like Matt and Bongo. Yes, well, Bongo's another Greensborough boy. I've seen a photo. I was researching you guys today, and there's a few photos of Bongo and yourselves together and having some success, and you must be proud to see him then go on and coach as well.
Yeah, look, he was a really good player, and I'd say to him, he was bloody hard work, Bongo. As a player. He played on the edge and that, but I've spoken to him a lot of times with his rings and from just a general chat. He's just a really good bloke, and he puts a lot of hard work and effort into his preparation.
Yeah,
and I mean, Matt was saying about 5 going in the 4, whatever, to make the finals, but at the other end too.
Yeah,
Matt, it's a fight.
Yeah, correct.
There's 3 even West Preston. You think they should be safe, but the 3 below that are fighting to see if they're in Division
3
1
big clubs too, Rob. Big clubs.
We're talking about Darren. Bundoora played off in the grand final last year.
We've had that discussion.
Which people would have been bringing up all the time.
Yeah, no, they are. All right, so part of this, guys, is now you've got to get pretty serious here because Matty's going to read out the Division 3 sides. We need to know the winner and how much they win by.
Yep.
And you're not allowed to tip Greensborough today, but we got Division 1 either.
You can only tip a draw.
All right, walk them through, Bonners. Let's go.
All right, first one we've got Kilmore, Heidelberg West to Kilmore. we would start at Divi 3, I should say.
Okay, so what was it? Kilmore versus
Heidelberg West.
I'm going to go Kilmore by 26
Yeah, you've really
points.
run them out this year, haven't you, Heidelberg West?
Nah,
You've
I'm over.
jumped off.
Moved on.
They've improved Heidelberg West, but I think Kilmore have been pretty solid, haven't they? So
At home
Kilmore
especially, yeah.
by 19.
All right, beautiful.
Kilmore with a bit of Shane Harvey magic.
Yeah. This is the match. This is the match you want to see. This is Fitzroy Stars Mernda
Oh, shit.
at Fitzroy Stars. This is the Comp versus Bonadio
Yeah,
Cup.
look, I'm gonna stick with Mernda. They knocked them off last time by I think a point
After the siren.
after the siren. So I'm gonna stick with my Mernda, but I'm gonna make it clear if Fitzroy knock them off, Mernda, you can't be favourite anymore. I've stuck by you all year. You need to help me out this week, Fletch, and I need the win. But I'm going to go Mernda by a point again.
Where is it, Matt?
It's at Fitzroy Stars. So
I'll go Fitzroy.
yeah, Northcote, yeah.
By 5 points.
Ooh, close games.
Yeah.
From the bits I've seen, I reckon Fitzroy Stars are favourites for the flag this year. I'm backing them in.
Yeah, see, smart man. Yeah, I'll go the Proctor Stars for sure. We've got Ivanhoe and Old Eltham Collegians. This is going to be a cracker too, actually.
Well, to quote you, if you kick enough scoring shots, you'll get up. And Ivanhoe started to turn that around at the right time of the year. So
I don't want to take full credit, but I'll take some.
take all it. Schultze won't mind.
Schultze won't mind.
I'm going to go Ivanhoe. I just think they're a little bit of a more consistent side. Ivanhoe by about 18.
Yeah, I'll go because Collegians dropped off for about 4 or 5 weeks in a row
Yeah,
after a fantastic
Six
start,
straight
didn't they?
losses.
Yeah, and I think they bounced back last week.
They did.
I think Ivanhoe might be a bit more bloody rounded than them.
Yep.
I'm sticking with Old Eltham. I think their best is really good. If
Yeah.
they can find it, they're a real challenge for most.
And also, too, the first few rounds, they were behind for most of the game. So they got 2 or 3 wins in the last quarter. Beat Mernda by kicking, I think, 5 goals in the last quarter. So I still think Ivanhoe win. I'm still a fan of the way. I love the organisation. We were down there pre-season, and I still think they're going to be contending, whether they go all the way. But I think Ivanhoe win by about 4 goals.
Okay. Yep. Good.
And last one, because there's 3 buys this time. So I've got Old Paradians Reservoir, so should be pretty.
Well, Reservoir's playing better footy though.
Absolutely,
They were
yeah.
respectable last week, and Old Paradians, they're there, thereabouts. You know, they've probably dropped off a fraction, but I think maybe a little bit worked out around Gilmore. Shut down the Gilmores, and you're a better chance. But I still think Old Paradians comfortably here by probably 40 points.
Yeah, I'd say then. Depends on the weather, but 8 to 10 goals.
Yeah.
I'm Benny Turner camp.
Yeah.
As a former coach of ours, I'm backing him in.
Yeah, Old Paradians by about 10 goals, I reckon. So that does Divi 3.
Let's jump straight into Divi 2 because we've got a lot to talk about with his yesteryear v today side, Bonners.
Absolutely. So first one, we've got Lorimer v Northcote Park.
Oh, gee, this is a big game. Lauren will win this and they start talking themselves out of relegation.
Yep.
Northcote Park dropped this and they put themselves back into relegation talk. But I love you, Jimmy. I tipped against you last week. There's a footy here with your name on it, as you know, but I think Northcote Park are just a side on the up, but they'll get home by 12 points, I reckon.
Yeah, I think Northcote Park, it probably just means, I know it means both, but I think they wouldn't want to go down to 3rd division.
No, and I think they've got some class. They've got some good players that have started to come to the fore, and those blokes are now carrying the side over the line most weeks. I'm backing them in Northcote Park.
Yeah, the Perras and the Ahmeds are just running that show again. And I think now with everyone getting it back, I mean, we spoke to a few blokes and they're starting to get their players back. I think they win by about 10 goals, to be honest.
Wow,
I actually think they're that good.
Jimmy's just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
So's his old man.
Jimmy won't let me down to Lauren now. So. Watsy, Diamond Creek, and Watsy?
Look, Diamond Creek, easy.
Yeah.
35 points. No brainer.
Yeah, they'll finish second, won't they?
Yep.
All around that
Yeah,
mark.
around there or thereabouts.
Yeah, I'm backing in Damo.
Yeah, pretty easy Dimo for me. St Mary's, South Marine.
Yeah, South Marang again by 40, 50, pick your number. They're just a class act.
I think that talking to a fella from St Mary's, got a truckload of injuries at the moment.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but I don't think they can carry that much to get across the line there.
Yeah, I'd say South Marine, unfortunately. I wanted to see St Mary's.
Yeah,
challenge this year.
They started well.
Yeah.
Ever since Phil come on the show, it's all gone backwards.
It's all Phil's fault. We'll blame him. Yeah, I reckon South Marine very, very easy. So Yeah, Fountain Hill Whittlesea. I spoke to a mate of mine, Chrissy Jewett, and he still thinks that they're a massive show to play finals and contend this year. Fountain Hill.
Fountain Hill.
Yeah, so Fountain Hill Whittlesea this weekend. They're still giving themselves a decent chance.
Must be on the wacky weed. All I can say is
I'm pretty sure I was drunk at the time. So, yeah.
Whittlesea by 75 points. They are that good. For me, they are flag favourites, and I can't see them losing
Well, they
at
haven't
this
lost
stage.
yet, so,
Yeah, I couldn't see him getting anywhere close to it.
yeah.
Prime train or no prime train?
No prime train.
Just a one-off
All
train.
right, I'm on Whittlesea then.
No, Whittlesea easy as well. So, last one, Lowell Plenty, Thomastown at Lower.
Well, I said a few weeks Thomastown was cooked, and I want to make an apology. They're not cooked, you're fried. You're done. It's all over. Your season's finished. So that's an easy tip there.
I'm not quite so sure, but I think lower, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at lower they'll get over the line.
Yeah, it's nice to see Lower have worked their way into it.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
on them
They're on the
too.
move.
Yeah, they started slow, but yeah, I reckon they get back in. Lowell winner for me.
Now, Bonners, the other night we went down and we hung out with 5 gentlemen.
We did.
And I'm getting sick and tired of being the worst footballer in the room, as I was telling Rob before. But
You'd have to go somewhere really bad to actually not be that.
Well, I was actually down at under 9s training session the other night. I was still the worst footballer, but we sat around with some great. And in all seriousness, I was in awe of all of these gentlemen on the night. Gary Massey, we learned a lot out of Gary. Ray Shaw, Rob Moyanara.
Mayo.
I just can't do
me
it.
say.
Robbie
Mayorana,
and
he wasn't able to get there.
Vinny totally wasn't able to get there, and big hands Jason Heatley was there.
Yep.
Who and what a great night to talk footy for this legend side. Some of the names that came up were tough, but we've put it to the panel and they've selected the criteria to be in the yesteryear and today's side. Do you want to run through these qualifications?
Look, we've had over 200 nominations and we really want more because I feel like we're scratching the surface. I'll actually have a chat to Rob in a minute. He'd probably have some names too from the yesteryear, but we've set it at 100. We did have the medals at the start, but we feel like that we're looking at the best players for the Diamond Valley and Northern Footy League.
Yep.
There's some great players who've come in and won some medals, but we really want to set the bar at 100.
Yep.
So we'd love all the clubs because there's not a great deal of the information out there. So if all the clubs have their teams of the year, they have some people they'd like to nominate as well. We'd love to hear from every club. So from past and present to get some names up there as well.
I'm sending a personalised message to every club this
so they won't
weekend.
get back to you. That's great.
Yep.
So we're doing 100. In 4 weeks, we're going to have a panel show.
Yes.
So we're going to have them all there. We're going to throw up the names that we have.
Live.
Yeah, live.
You can ask them questions yourself.
Yep. So we'll put it in there. Me and Robbie will be asking questions, getting some extra names. Maybe people have forgotten. On Monday, I think we came up with 15 names that people had forgot about. So it's a really tough job, and there are going to be people that miss out that are quality footballers.
Yeah.
But 100 is the baseline. So
some good players are going to miss out, just to be key there.
So it's from 1974 to 2000.
2024.
No, 2000 for the yesteryear.
Oh yeah.
You want to let me finish, or you just like interrupting? No, wonder your wife doesn't talk to you. And then 2001 to 2023, really. So you can have the 24. So the 100 games. Get all the names in. If you're not sure, put them in there. We'll do the research and find out if they've played. But it will be an amazing 2 teams which will be presented on the night.
Yes.
We've got a mock call to see who'd win in the last 5 minutes. It's not going to be you because you can't say people's names, so it's really not going to work out that well.
Him to him.
Yeah. But the best part was that the amount of enthusiasm that the guys had on Monday. They're excited to do a team. I actually think that it's going to be amazing, and we're going to give credence to the guys in the yesteryear. So, question to you, Rob, names from your premiership side. I mean, we got a few from Greensy back then. Who were the players that you sat there and thought these guys really are what the Diamond Valley is about?
Yeah, well, we had a legends thing. Well, even when I was at Bundoora before then, I mean, you got I'm sure Chrissy Keating would have come up and Pickles Hamer, and they're like. They were just great players in that era. But I went through with Wayne Dobson.
His name's been here.
Yeah, Brett Fowler. He won 4 best and fairest. Wow. And then people, unless you're connected with that, Neil Brindley, to me.
Yeah, Neil Brindley.
I played him as a 16-year-old and won the first premiership. And he became Diamond Valley or Northern Footy League legend in that time. So yeah, it's not
an easy thing.
It's a really hard task. If you got to go back and like Darren said, if people could be bothered sending in their teams of the century, then you would miss out on 20, 25 people thinking, I forgot about that bloke.
Yeah.
So to narrow it down to 22 for each era is a massive job.
And that's why we get a panel, mate, so I can handle it.
Well, that's right. You can blame somebody else,
bloke, mate.
That's right. Yeah.
We did get a huge list through from Ray Shaw today.
Gary Massey too. Gary he was flipping off names. Like he could have had 6 sides, I reckon.
Gary's not on Facebook, so I can say this. Gary's quoting guys from 1901 from his under-19 side. So he has some guys' names.
You actually have to twist around.
He's running the old Nokia 3310 and only knows the answer button. But to be able to listen to Gary and Ray talk about that era was outstanding. Just of things players did.
Yeah.
Before cheap stats and guys able to get 40 stats back in those days would have been a true hard 40 stats.
Well, even the sides that played Mario Sapola and all of these blokes from Layla, they first team to win 3 A-grade premierships in a row. So you got some outstanding players coming through there, and and then the Bundoora, Heidelberg, and
Northcote Park.
Northcote Park won 2 or 3 out of 4, so and some good. And in those days, there was a lot of blokes just come out of league footy would come back and play, which is not sort of happening that much much in Northern Footy League anymore.
Well, it is if you've got enough cash.
Oh well, yeah. I think they go country or they go as a district or something like that these days.
Send a question for you, Matty, or the newer era. So, we had names like Shane Harvey. I know, Heath Ayres is one that I put up. Matty Dennis is another one that's been put up. Joey Ahmed's probably previous to that, but there's some good footballers going through. What are some names you reckon that should be really considered for the ladder year?
Look, I was lucky to play across a couple of those ones. I was thinking, sadly, I think all of those blokes you had on those panel have coached me at one time or another.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I mean. But like in terms of those eras, there was obviously a couple of those names that you mentioned.
Yeah.
But Bundoora didn't win a couple of those flags without Cameron Cloak at different points.
Yeah.
He was just a machine. But even like back in the day, like Mouse Ryan out at North Heidelberg.
Yeah.
But then that Heidelberg side, look, my first 5 years at Bundoora, I think we lost 4 premierships in a row to that Heidelberg side, which was Jess Sinclair, Anthony Franchina. It had blokes like Abe Williams. Adam Symes was a superstar footballer. The Nolan brothers.
Blair Harvey.
Blair Harvey.
Who was a ruckman?
Mickey Gay. And then Michael Finn. But even
Mick Finn.
Mick Finn. Yeah, Mickey Finn. That's what
bit of love here for you, Rob. From Dave Calloway, he was my best coach ever until he dropped it for the 89 grade. But he's not bitter. It sounds like he's moved on.
But if he's listening now, I said to him, you'll get a game if it's wet. And it wasn't going to be wet. So he came on Friday night about 11 o'clock at night and hear this knock on the door. So his brother Steve, and he's standing in an umbrella, and his brother's got the hose over his head. Heidi, it's raining. So, I don't think so, Carl.
Good try.
Piss off and go home.
Andrew Stellers. What have I missed? Something there?
No, Stell's a very good player.
Right, okay.
Just ask him.
Division 2 have a bye this week. Have we got the dates wrong on that one, Bonners? Or
I wanted to say it before, but I think...
Have you stuffed up again, have you, Bonners?
You gave me the list, you peanut.
No.
Yeah, Saturday the 27th of July.
It's going to say the same next week, so it's saying just time next week.
You guys must wonder how I do it with this man every week. It is living hell.
The worst bloke that put notes out in my life.
What we are going to do is go to a very quick commercial break, and we'll be back to talk Division 1 that doesn't have a bye this week, Bonners. Go and do some research, and we're going to talk about some other stuff, including the grand final show and a special live act on the day.
At KJY Electrical, you are guaranteed that perfect job from our local Sparky Kyle. Support local business that supports the Northern Footy Show. Call Kyle today for a quote on 0419638241. Let him know you love the Footy Show for your discount.
All right, welcome back, guys. Now, we put out the call the other night, Bonners. We've got a grand final show coming out. We're going to officially release it next week is the plan. We've managed to...
2 weeks.
we've managed to lock in Nick McCole from Hurstbridge. He plays live at Panton Hill. He plays up at Echuca on the river to fund his summer. I hear his summer skiing, but Nick McCole is going to close the show out for us on the grand final show. Come and play live. So we put the call out. We had some very odd people putting their hands up to sing, which was some of the names weren't so good. And but
I only put my name up once.
yeah, but you can't perform the Muppet song. You can't have the Muppet song live. So
I don't think I can even sing that.
no, I don't think you can. So he's going to do that. Jamie Churchill's a huge chance, who wrote our theme song and performed it, to come down from Sydney and do it for us as well. So I'll be able to get that out as well. Now, the other thing, Bonners, is there's something coming up at Diamond Creek, and they have recruited the king.
This pains me to actually say. So the Eddie Maguire of the Northern Footy League.
Who's that? Eddie
Fitzy.
Maguire of the Northern Footy League.
Great president of Diamond Creek,
Yes.
has decided to save a hell of a lot of money and get some really basic
Can't find where I
MC,
put it.
a really
At
basic MC.
KJY Electrical, you are.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
pressing buttons everywhere. I can't see that. My glasses.
Any idea what you're doing?
There we go. Here it is. Sorry, mate. It's here. There you go. Diamond Creek. They're having a big president's luncheon. Walk us through it.
You just want me to say it so you don't have to say your own name. It's disgusting. You'll be emceeing it.
I will.
I can't get there for the day, which is good because I don't want to see your stuff up.
Saves your ears
Yeah,
bleeding.
it saves your ears bleeding.
Some
We've already
huge
done-
guests.
We're kind of, the private people for Diamond Creek after doing the Legends game, but get down there for President's Lunch. It's an amazing club now, what they've done over the last few years. We've been there a couple of times. They've had the night games, get down President's Lunch, even if it is to watch Compty make an absolute fool of himself. I'd pay money for that myself. So that is on the 10th of August, 12 to 2:30, before the game against. Has it got to the game against?
Nope. But
So why wouldn't you put that on there?
Abby Holmes is
Abby Holmes and
special
Dipper's going to
guest,
be there as
Dipper
well.
and Barry Michaels.
Yep.
Fantastic boxer. So that's going to be a big one. Reserve your tickets. All the information.
All you have to do is pick out the odd person, and you can tell us who it is.
Right. Now, Divi 1's a big week because
Yes.
there's some conflicting games. Let's jump into this. Now, you're not allowed to tip Greensborough. You have to tip against them, boys.
Are you sure I can say there's no buy? Or
Not
what?
really. What's that?
Is there a
No
buy?
buy.
Right now?
Someone will tell us. When we make mistakes, mainly you,
Maybe sitting there just made me make a fool of myself. He didn't say a word.
they tell us. Even Marky has said royalty on the panel tonight. Thank you, but please appreciate that as well.
So we got first games, North Heidelberg versus McLeod at the Kennel. Any team at the Kennels, it's a killing, isn't it?
50 points.
You reckon more?
They were amazing last week.
Yeah. Brett Harvey's playing or
No,
not?
he's done. He's out this week.
Definitely.
49 points.
Yeah.
Had him 110 up.
No.
Yeah, North Heidelberg have found some form. They've got some really good sort of midfield presence now, and they're moving well.
Yeah, North for me, very, very easy.
I just want to comment before you move on there, Bonners. Obviously, they played Bundy on the weekend. I was down there. I was saying to Rob before that what Boomer does for that side, including his behind the jumper punch, which is amazing, but what he does not only just to get possessions, but the way he leads players out of that forward line to open the room up. I actually found myself glued to watching him. For a 47-year-old, he is outstanding, just outstandingly fit, and his skills are amazing.
But the other part too is, and what we see with Fitzroy Star as well, these guys, ex-AFL players who came back, the direction that they give these kids is second to none. As much as the possessions and everything like that, teaching them where to run, teaching them to stay out of there. When you're in this position, do that. I said also Ahmed Zad do it for, Fitzroy Stars, and the way they just direct, it just might be, instead of running on that way, you just run on a slight angle. It makes a massive, in football, we all know that, you can cut the angles a little bit. That saves you a couple of seconds here and there. So what he does for that, I saw as well. Just his direction was amazing.
He was amazing, and my love affair for Parker continues. I think he kicked 4-6, but I've seen him pick someone up and just tackle him to the ground like it was a rag doll. The guy is a star.
Yeah.
He's an absolute star.
We got told not to talk about it. Spoke to his old man's a little bit more kind of
bit harder on him.
He says he's got to grow an inch. We spoke about that before, to be that really great key forward, but
still a baby.
Pair of hands are ridiculous.
He's 19.
So,
he's eligible to play in the 19s this year. He's a leading goal kicker in Division 1.
Yeah, which is, it's a great feat in itself. Yep. We've got Heidelberg Bandura. Go on, pick him.
Bundy by a point, Vin, you're in trouble. In all seriousness, it's
could be a
probably
massive
100 points.
Yeah. Well, they've been the second side twice by nearly 100
Yeah,
points. So it'll be closer to
it's a
two.
bit frightening.
Yeah.
It'll be a bit of a touch-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. This is going to be a cracker. Hurstbridge, Monty at Hursty.
All right. Now, I do have a bit of a love affair for Hursty as well, but Monty just played an amazing game last week, and Monty's good with Nash Holmes and that in it is brilliant.
Yep.
I'm probably going to jump off the Hursty train for this week because I think Monty's form is good.
Yep.
I think Monty get this done by about 8 or 9 points. It'll be close, but Monty get it and start locking away a finals berth.
Yeah, I've heard some rumours about, like we were talking earlier about people going overseas. And Hurstbridge got a few overseas and maybe a couple of key injuries and might have, I think, heading the other way a little bit, getting players back when they've had their run of injury. So I reckon probably Mont, just for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think Monty have really found some form at the moment. And, I think Hurstbridge are missing a few.
Yeah, go against us, Matt. Go on. You do it every week. Go against you because I know I'll be right. Hurstbridge
is one of those enigmas for me that you think they've got their game together and then the following week they'll get a touch-up. So they're far too inconsistent for me. Yeah, I reckon Monty get it done well and truly easy. Probably about 5 goals, to be honest.
Yeah. Look, it could be easy. I agree.
Yeah. Match of the round.
Let's go.
Banyule versus Greensy at Banyule.
Now, I've got to be careful what I say. All right, but Banyule copping a hiding last week. That's a serious hiding. If you're don't send in your hate mail just yet, but if you're a serious contender, you don't get rolled by 90 points. Now, I know they're a special.
2 weeks in a row.
It's so. I've always been on the Greensy bandwagon, guys. but no,
last night.
I think Greensy. If these boys weren't here, I'd say if Greensy are going to play finals, they have to win this game. So they really need to win this game, and I think Greensy's got enough depth to do it this week against Matt Banyula, a bit beaten at the moment. Yeah. I think Greensy probably get it done by about 14 points.
I think you're right, actually. Your analysis is...
Tip Banyule, Rob, go on.
But I think you're right. If we talked off air, we've been, in games like Banyule early in the year, we were 6 goals up and nearly 4 or 5 up against North Hyde. We've just sort of frittered away and played bad patches. But you're right. If we want to play finals this year, this is probably the crunch match for the remaining 5 games of 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Ricky's a good friend, right? So I've got a soft spot for Banyule, and it's been nice watching them grow a bit further than they've come. They've definitely made progress after last year. Mm. But look, I think that at the moment, outside of a bit of a blip around our second half against North Heidelberg, we've been on the march. I think playing a different brand of footy, some selfless footy, and I think we're on the up. It's just if we play 4 quarters of footy, I reckon we're a chance to take them really solidly.
That's more cliches than Matt gives out in the sentence there.
I'm pretty good. I use the word cliche. That's the only thing that we do differently. This is one of those games where the contenders face the contenders, and I love them because you're going to find out you can go from 2nd to 6th within a week. I'm still love these boys, but I still got to stick on the Harrow bandwagon. I love what he's done.
Didn't Harrow go to school with you as well?
Yeah, he's a old mate of mine, so Matty's my grade 6 preference. So I can't really spin him, but I do think that Banyule at their best are very, very tough to beat. These guys as well, but I'm still. They've got one more week to prove that they're still contenders. They lose this one. That's 2 bad losses, and then your other contender as well. So it can go either way, but I'll still stick with them.
Yep. It's a tough one. It's going to be a great game. It is definitely match of the round.
You could sit there and go draw, to be fair. The last one, West Preston Alpha, which is going to be really, really interesting.
Look, I would have said West Preston if they were competing for finals still. They're out, they're done, they can't make it. And I just think Bongo's been getting his side ready. I feel like he's already getting them ready for next year, so he's giving guys opportunity to play for next year. I just think Eltham will match up better here, and I don't think it's a huge one, but 3 goals I think Eltham get this home by and secure they're not going to be relegated this year.
Yeah, I've obviously got a soft spot for Eltham. Coaching and Bongo, I coached him for 3 or 4 years, and I think you're right. I think West Preston on their best. They won a couple of good games against good sides, but I think it's a really meaningful game for Eltham, and I think if they could win this one, it just takes them a long way to playing Divi 1 again in 2025.
It's a win for them, isn't it, though, Rob? Because when you come up, it's so hard to come up and not bounce straight back down. That is the victory on its own, being secured with a couple of weeks to go.
Yeah, and I think that was their aim, Darren, right from the very start, just to remain there. Really had a focus on staying there, and this one does. And if it doesn't, well, then it becomes more interesting as the year goes on.
Yeah, my heart says Eltham, but I think my head says that if West Preston bring their best, then it's a tough task. I think that their best is good.
Yeah,
but so is Eltham's. They just need to come out ready.
Rob was saying before that it's a competition itself. Like West Preston are no guarantee to stay up.
No.
So they're very, very proud club. I can't see them losing this at home. Had it been at Eltham, you would have had a different perspective. But I just can't see them. They too want to say, well, if they lock this game away, you can pretty much say they're safe from relegation. So I reckon there's more for them to play with, because even with Eltham win, there's still the others still clipping at their heels, where West Preston pretty much put it to bed this weekend. So I reckon West Preston win by about 3 goals.
Pretty famous name there, McCubbin, is never chance this week.
Oh, Nev's always a chance. Nev's an icon of Greensborough Football Club. So, he is always a chance. I think, I don't know, in the reserves game, I've never seen the crowd go louder when Nev gets himself around goals. So.
And Eddie himself says, thanks, guys, for the wrap-up. Now, that's the conclusion of the games, Bonners.
It is.
Correct.
Including ones we didn't have to do.
Yes, I don't know what he did. We'll have a chat about it. We'll have a
See,
good
look,
argument with him after the game.
That's not my typo, Dimwit. That's you.
No. I
can't put brains in monuments.
I want to stress before we finish the show that it's really important for your clubs to get behind this Legends v today's side. I want clubs' involvement, because I don't want anyone saying afterwards, well, you didn't get in Johnny Smith and he should have been in there. This is the chance. I'll send out a personalised message to each club's authorised person on their Facebook account this week, so please get on board. I'm really glad I'll get to meet both of you guys for the first time, because you're both footy nuts, and I absolutely, love having people with this sort of resume, and the father-son thing I just love. I really do. I love that is this tight. I'm very close with my family and tight with my kids, and I can see he does seem angry about a couple of things, but I can see that you have a genuine love of football and each other, and I think it's great that the football world, me and Maddie talk all the time, how the football world is just creates bonds that can't be beaten. You're an absolute legend, Rob.
$3, mate.
You're an absolute legend, and you've done so much for footy, and we're so blessed to have you on the show. And Maddie, we wish you the very best for the season, despite what I've said for the last couple of weeks. So, guys, that will conclude our show for the week. Next week, we'll release a couple more things. It's a huge week of footy. Sunday wrap-up. We'll be back this week. Me and Maddie had some other commitments last week. And until next week, keep kicking goals.
Have you ever seen a roo kick? Have you ever seen an emu run under the bright Aussie skies and said this year we'll be the one? Oi, oi, oi! What does it mean to be a part of a footy team?